people. Too much of one thing, good for nothing. Too much a good thing, never enough. I don't know why my black people cannot see. No party never care about we. Every election we so devoted. How we love up with PNM. As soon as election come and go, it's only problem after problem. How could we cope? Man lost the hope. I ain't seeing no solution. Every time PNM come in power, it takes a toll on black man. I don't want to sound like a racist, but this is what I can see. They just take care of the race, but they damn well know they have we. I want to ring my bell, wake up Eric Williams. Tell him the party from name PNM needed immediate attention. Ring my bell, wake up Mother Cornhawks. Tell she to cast a spell on we party, cause it's not what it used to be. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. This thing is becoming out of hand. It's time this damn nonsense stop. If you don't sing a PNM song, from Skinner Park you'll be dropped. Calypsonian could have sing what they want. We were the spokesman for the people. Eric Duffy, Chambers Dunphy. When Kamala drunk, how she like to pee. Calypsonian, no, that's no way to go. Too much happening in we country. All this killing spree, young woman body, but only about PNM you could sing. All them songs playing on the radio, all you singing with Kamala do. But when PNM do a wrong thing, I ain't hearing a word from you. I want to ring my bell, wake up Mother Cosell. Every Monday she preach on WAC radio and is the biggest critic of Calypso. Ring my bell for Patsy and Joni. I want them two cultural lovers to know not only PNM song is Calypso. I ring the bell, ring the bell. I ring the bell down there. I ring the bell, ring the bell. I ring the bell down there.
Huh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live from the Workers' Rights Network. Well, today, being the 15th of the 12th month, 2024. Now, before we go on into the discussion that we are about to have here this afternoon, it was mandated of us here to start with a word of prayer. So before we move into this intense discussion here this afternoon on this network, we are going to start with some prayers. Because it will take a little while to break the chains of bondage that is held out on us as black people within this country. It will take our time. So before we go into the intense discussion this afternoon, that was unscheduled, by the way, It was not, it had no schedule. This is not a scheduled broadcast. I will always say that. We'll come back fully on stream next year in concordance to the Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But for now, let me go into a word of prayer. Follow along here with me, people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, Almighty Creator of all things seen and unseen, we come before you with humbled hearts and open spirits. We thank you for this precious opportunity to gather together on this platform, Workers' Rights 868, and to share this sacred space dedicated to the pursuit of justice, truth, and the betterment of our beloved nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Lord, we ask that you bless and protect every presenter and speaker involved in this Justice Advocates program. Cover them under your wings of love, strengthen their resolve, and grant them wisdom as they seek to speak truth with clarity, integrity, and courage. Let their words be vessels of hope, filled with compassion and anchored in justice. May they shine as beacons of light, inspiring others to stand firm in the face of adversity and to work tirelessly for a fairer, more just society. We pray, Father, that this message of justice and advocacy reaches the ears and hearts of all who are listening. Break down any barriers, soften hardened hearts, and open the minds of all who tune in. Let every listener find purpose in these words, be moved toward change, and feel empowered to be agents of righteousness, compassion, and equality. May this message bring inspiration to those who feel unseen, courage to those who feel unheard, and strength to those who feel alone. Lord, we lift the people of Trinidad and Tobago to you, asking for your divine protection over each life, each family, and each community. Grant prosperity to our land, not just in wealth, but in spirit, unity, and peace. Guide our leaders, uplift our workers, and bless our youth with opportunities that foster hope and resilience. May your hand of provision and guidance be upon every endeavor, every heart, and every mind that seeks to uplift this nation. We ask that, through your grace, the vision of a fair and just society becomes more than a dream, but a lived reality in Trinidad and Tobago. Let us all be reminded of our duty to one another, to uphold the principles of fairness, dignity, and respect. We offer this prayer with faith in your power to transform and heal, trusting that where two or more are gathered in your name, you are there in the midst, leading and guiding us forward. In your mighty name, we pray, Amen.
Now, today as we sit here, in this heat and turmoil that our country are in, and there are many people outside there that are trying for us to believe otherwise. And the fact still remains that if we have to compare between governments, or between two governments, a matter of fact, between the ruling party and the opposition, we could be certain that what is taking place now is unlike what we have ever seen in Trinidad and Tobago. Corruption, gangsterism, nepotism, all the isms. And we are seeing a concerted effort by certain activists on several different platforms all over Trinidad and Tobago. All on the network, a matter of fact, to be politically correct. On mainstream media and on social media. Trying to call black white and white black. Now the reason why I would have came up with this Well, I wouldn't say I. The reason why this discussion is necessary this afternoon is to dispel some of the fear-mongering that is taking place at this point in time. So to start one time, let me hit this out of the way. Before I go into that serious discussion, today I was in the area of Point 14, moving and traversing, and I was summoned to see a sight in the city, in the tongue of Point 14, a matter of fact. And it's so much on my mind. Before I go into this discussion here this afternoon, it is vital that I play that clip. Trinidad and Tobago, one of the stronghold of the PNM, and this is the condition. I am Facade, the food king in Point 14. Not because of the shopping, but there is a point that I come here to prove. Yeah, morning, evening. And a point here I come to prove. I ain't come to show how much of the citizens and them not having money and not shopping as they used to in this time of the month, this eventful time that a lot of people are here, spending what they have and what they don't have and trying to make the family member happy. I ain't talking about it lessened down. Again, this is my facade. Nice building, but I'm here to show you that road there. I'm going to take a walk and show you the road down there. Bad condition. The gem, people, the PNM like to boast about Point 14. I will show you what I want to ask you what they're boasting about. Now, I believe somehow I miss what we're trying to show you there. You know. Now, why we leave this part here in the ending of the old pit here? Right, the bulletin is up on the screen, as a matter of fact. The Christmas blues. There are a lot of people who have money in Trinidad and Tobago. They're not shopping. They ain't shopping. The newspaper would have recorded that businessman as saying that, you know, people are not shopping outside here. People don't have money to spend. Simple as that. But for the sake of argument today, why I would have leave this part in the end for just say to marinate. Now you never see we start, or you see we stop do videos like that when we going up and show hole in the road, because we believe that the people worth more than a hole in the road, fixing a hole in the road. They worth more than that. They worth more than that in terms of the attention of the government. So I don't see we doing no hole in no road thing. But today, when I was summoned, as a matter of fact, to Point 14, by PNM officials, and they saying, boy, what do you think? I stoops. And I say, boy, I will himself call nobody to even self make any amends concerning this. But what's right outside of the PNM office, the headquarters, the South Base? People voting whole year. As a matter of fact, every 5 years, they're voting for PNM in Point 14, and what's just outside the PNM office. And for those that would have missed, if you miss it, you miss what I was now going on show you, yes, I will show it over for you to understand. For you to understand. Basically, I am going to play track 2 for those that need me to read between the lines for you. These are the same people that is coming to ask you for your vote come next year. These are the same people that is boasting to you, the people, and is coming to ask you for your vote today. I specifically talk. Right now I'm talking to the people in Point 14. They will be coming 2025 to ask you for your vote in Point 14. The PNM, their representative for the Point 14 area is coming to your house and ask you for your vote and ask you to support him for the next 5 years. And many of the issues that would have taken place within that area, within Point 14 and Library, I was on the ground. Sheldon was on the ground. And other activists that wishes not to be named at this point in time Because there are certain people that want to come out and speak and want to say certain things, but for fear of retribution, they stay away. Because let me at the end of the day, let me do cast aspersion, because at the end of the day, there are people that is working with these government-run agencies, work, a matter of fact, that do not want the name to call. And we respect that. Whilst we respect the information they are providing us with on a ball-by-ball basis, they wish to remain anonymous at this point in time. But the amount of the amount of things that is taking place, just to be politically correct, the amount of things that is taking place in the borough of Point 14. When certain things reach the public domain, or you go and cry. So at the end of the day, the MP from the area, Point 14, is coming to ask you for your vote for the next 5 years, so he could give it to the PNM administration. And watch in front of the office. Watch in front of the Balize office in Point 14. A place that's supposed to look refined, reflective of the government. A matter of fact, that is how we are in front of it. Or you didn't realize to the wider public, this man would have went unopposed. I could tell you why. But we will, as I say, we're going to leave that right there. Now we are going into a live that was sent to me today. That would have been spurred on because of this picture here. That picture, where it is the unions. That picture there, where it is the unions and them would have came together and form a collage. Philip Edward Alexander and the rest of the union, the OWTU, and other officials, hope everybody would have came together, seeing what would have been seeing what would have been what they are up against. A matter of fact, they decide to come together, put all their differences aside, and stand together for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, what would have came out of this whole melee was a live today in which the PNM does what they do best. They start the propaganda machine in full swing. And what they do is use fear-mongering to try to persuade the mass population, to shock them into, hey, you remember 2015, from 2010 to 2015, or remember that? That is what they're doing now. The simple breakdown of this live here is just that. Or remember 2010 to 2015? That is the breakdown here, you know. But for the sake of the general public, we are going to go along and treat with what was said in this live, ball by ball. So we're going to take a break and we are coming right back. Trust me.
After relinquishing his post as leader, Keith Christopher Rowley went deep into the bowels of the Balasier house to visit a mysterious creature to give him advice.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
True.
You're a liar.
You're not getting a pass.
Go away.
Let me make it very clear here today.
Where would you be without me?
You're on your own.
What did you say?
You're on your own.
Master looks after us now.
Right, good afternoon to you again, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, this live was sent to me today. And I was asked to make a response based on what was said in this live. And again, the PNM propaganda machine is within full swing. What their intentions are is to use fear-mongering to interfere with the psyche of the average man, to try to tell them that you know the devil that you have and you do not know the devil that you are going to meet. You remember 2010 to 2015, that is what they are saying. That is what is the nucleus of their message on all platforms, because they have nothing to talk about. When you confront them with things like, hey, this $2.6 billion that missing, why no investigation have been done, they bypass something like that. When members of the public are talking about mass corruption that is taking place, they bypass things like that. When you see a prime minister coming in press conference after press conference and lying, and the minister of finance coming in press conference after press conference and lying and have to put your foot in the mouth, we ought to take notice here in Trinidad and Tobago. Because when Keith Rowley could come in a press conference and misrepresent information and use the strawman fallacy to persuade public opinion, we ought to take notice here in this country. And to the many intellectuals that are outside there that are listening, I want you to hear this evening. Pay attention to what is going on play here, you know? Because this is in the handbook of the PNM. Fear-mongering tactics is used to persuade voters, and they are not bringing no actual data and proof and track record to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, unless it's a selected few. Only a selected few could say the PNM work for them, not the country at large. Only a selected few. So when you supposed to mount platform, or their activists say, hey, this is what we do, this is where we're going, you ain't seen that. You are seeing on every single platform that any of these PNM activists and their mount, and even the leader of the PNM, what they use is fear-mongering in every case, in every aspect, every question. Instead of they try to engage the psyche of the population at large and say, boy, you know, this is what it is. and reason it out in a way that the average man could understand it. You ain't getting that from them. Because Jawline's going and retire and dies the end of the night. He's not responsible, he sail off within the sunset. So the many of you that are outside there, let us start with this video one time.
From the ground and bringing those people up. And as Dominic said, those are some of the ways we are moving the people away from poverty and into a better lifestyle. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Always on point. Brian.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Morning.
Hey, morning. Morning to you, Dominic. Morning to your listeners and callers. You know, Dominic, every time I hear Mr. Chance, especially, he speaks about two things. What the government is doing for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Simple people, not the rich people, the simple people on the ground. Like me. And how they raise revenue. Because revenue, as Mr. Chance always said, is what you need in order to pay for the things that we all enjoy today.
Mm-hmm.
Especially things like the subsidized gas and light, electricity, and all of these things that we enjoy today. You know, Mr. Chance always asks, how are you going to raise the revenue? And up to this week on my television, I saw the government giving out, as they usually do. Not the government really, but this organization, as they usually do, under the auspices of the government, assisting people to help organize and repair their roofing and their housing and all of these things. That, yeah, darling, just yeah. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
This money comes from where? From revenue raised in order to assist all of these people, millions and millions of dollars, to assist all of these people, Dominic. But you see, those things hardly ever makes the news 2, 3, 4 times. It might make a TV6, and that's it. It might not make UNC3, and it's not going to make the radio stations. You know what also doesn't make, that hardly ever makes all of the radio stations on a regular basis, Dominic? Just recently, this company down in Deep South had the cocktail party celebration because whatever any name of the company, a subsidiary of Petrotrin.
Paria?
Not Paria.
Heritage?
No, the other one,
Heritage?
Heritage, yes. Heritage raised over the last 6 years because, you know, just recently, Comrade Roger was talking about this, celebrating his 6 years that the refinery closed down. But what he didn't tell us, Dominic, is that it is 6 years that the refinery closed down. Heritage raised $44 billion in revenue. I always say, Mr. Chance, like to talk about revenue. $44 billion. They ain't going to talk about that. $44 billion in 6 years. I'm going to keep repeating it so people will understand. $44 billion. Billion, not million, billion. Just know that. It's
Now, all you have to remember this: in the closed down Petrotrin, Heritage raised $44 billion. Who this really profiting? Now the gentleman would have talk about housing and a lot of things there. But in what area this thing taking place? Or you have to understand the games that is being played in. To whose end this is benefiting? Whose end? Who benefiting from this? Is the citizens benefiting from this? Are you benefiting from this? Boy.
6 years. My granddaughter. Her face is, you want to look at something. Anyway, $44 billion in 6 years. They gave the government, we the people, the government, $14 billion in 6 years. 14 billion dollars in 6 years. That makes front page. How good Heritage is doing. Mr. I always keep saying, Mr. Chance likes to talk about where we go get the money, the revenue. You always talk about it. You ask the question all the time. But here it is. Roshi can't talk about that. But the country in trouble. And the country in a block, according to Kamala Prasad, we said, sir, things bad in the country. But here it is, one organization, $44 billion. And government got back in the 6 years so far, $14 billion. You think they're talking about that? No. We ain't gonna talk about that. You understand? But we're gonna line up like lamb with the hand by the side, like if they're in school, to shake Kamala Prasad, we set her hand. Right? When she was in office, they were hiding the fact that the refinery was losing money and incorporating it in the books to make it look as though there was a profit being made by Petrotrin. When Heritage, then known as the Lord, I'm forgetting these things. You know, understand? They were making the money down in the field. They were making the money. But today, now that we have the books cleared up, and we could see who was making the money and who was not making the money, they don't talk about these things, Dominic. You ain't going to talk about that, Dominic.
Nope.
You are never telling people about Heritage. Heritage making $44 billion. And the government getting $14 billion in their coffers over the last 6 years. They're not going to talk about that. But people talking about things so hard and things so bad in the country. Dominic, all the banks, Dominic, including Scotia, that made over $600 million in the last fiscal year profit. $600+ million in profit. They ain't going to talk about that, Dominic. These things they will not speak about, Mr. Romain. Republic Bank, $2 billion. For citizens, I pay my mom how much they need, and then you have Royal Bank.
Now, you the members of the public.
One of the big companies, and Samakal.
When you hear all these statistics, you have to ask yourself, the logical minds outside there, you have to ask yourself, who that benefited? That is what we need to ask ourselves. You see, rhetoric and stupid talk. You see nonsense talk. You mustn't lend your ears and your psyche to foolishness. All of a sudden, the unions and the parties, the small political parties and them align themselves to a cause to fight, because every time they go to the current prime minister, he is not too concerned about the claims or the concerns of the citizenry. And now something is taking place, and it's looking like, you know, all the little quarrels that have been playing itself out on social media throughout. This one saying that one saying this, and you're seeing that start to fall, start to cease, and people are actually coming together and trying to make this thing work. You are seeing the PNM propaganda machine in full swing. In full swing. Now, for the sake of this topic here this afternoon, I want to jump the gun. So let me go back into the discussion again.
Opening branches all over the place, massive opening branches in the states. They go talk about these things, Dominic. How did they do that if they ain't making no money, Dominic? If people not purchasing, if people not buying, if people not spending. Dominic, I went down to the Massey recently. I went down to a certain particular hardware. I went to the JT, all these places down in South, Food Basket. People like rain. What are they doing? The window shopping. They're watching the cost of items, so they're spending money. And Kamala Prasad, Bissessa, and Rosie, and they want all the people to believe that nothing is happening in the country. That people go on catching the royal and things so hard and so bad. But people spending the little money that they have, they are sure that Christmas is nice for their families and so on, and whoever wants to visit. Making money. I went to Price Smart the other day. When I coming down, people with their trolleys going up, one behind the other, 7 o'clock in the night. I going down, them coming up, one behind the other, making money. You think Price Smart or Massey or JT are going to close down anytime soon, Dominic? Tell me now. You think extra foods?
Now, what this man really talking about, boy? What this man really talking about? Now, all of these information that he's saying here is to discredit the alliance between the UNC, the unions, and the parties, and then the rest of parties and them in Trinidad and Tobago. That is what this is about, you know. Because it's clear that that gentleman there is not seeing what is taking place within the wider public. The other day I would have told you that we was in Port of Spain. Now I ain't gonna be able to play the entire clip for you to see this afternoon concerning what is taking place actually on the ground in San Fernando and in other parts of the country. But let me start with San Fernando. Games.
Right, I'm San Fernando. RS Promenade. This is up. Pretty homeless. Homelessness and everything like that. There's thousands of people. I mean, on the other part there. You know you're taking them. You know you're taking them. Right with everything. Homelessness. Homelessness. That is what we have in San Fernando. Then the Prime Minister talking about his fat salary. I only care about his fat salary. San Fernando. See, I'm on busy, middle of the city. A German already saying down. Next man down there saying down to 19 would agree tomorrow. What are they going to do? What do we have, sir?
Now that is San Fernando. So the gentleman who say he went all over Trinidad and Tobago, what statistics this man is talking about? You see, I see one or two people within Price Mart. And we are going to go into Price Mart. The PNM propaganda machine cannot be spreading these kind of propaganda, brave and bold face. Talking foolishness, bold out here within the public domain. According to my partner, talking stupidness with confidence. On life that, you know, it remaining unchallenged.
Food basket going to close down anytime. Dominic, if all of these companies expanding, what are they expanding for? Are they not seeing a market? Are they don't have people that say, listen, there's a market here for us to expand and make money, Dominic? You don't want to listen just so if you're making money, Dominic. It's because you're making money. But I have the UNC and Rosie and all of them want to tell people that nothing happening in the country and things so bad and people suffering. I be would like to use suffering. Really, Dominic? Country blowing up with groceries all over the place. All over Trinidad. Things happening. The government spending money according to Mr. Chan. Look at the gymnasts.
Now, one could clearly see that even the host of the program, he's trying to study what really going on here.
Students went away to Jamaica just recently and came up with how many medals? How that happening, Dominic?
But Brian,
Tell me how that happening.
Brian, you said you went to.
She won 10 gold medals around her neck. Lovely little child. 10 gold medals. How that happening, Dominic? It's not supported by the government. She was proud to say 10 gold medals around her neck. She says it's way harder. She had to take it off because it's 10. They won over 160 odd medals when they fooled by people who want us to be fooled. Kamla Prasad said that she says she want to pop-up party. But here you have the PEP. They put up 28 people and they lost all of them. Lost the deposit. But she's shaking hand with the pop-up man, the pet man. You're shaking hand with he. The COP. What do you know the COP, Dominic? What your name?
Kirksonet. Yes.
He's a boxer. Where's his qualifications? Anybody ever asked to say, but okay, the COP has a new leader, Kirksonet. You know him as a boxer. What is Kirksonet qualifications in politics and so? What do he ever say? What do he ever do? What is his contribution to the UNC? She said she wants to know what your contribution is going to be. What is his contribution? The next one is Gavin. What is him? From up, they go Martin.
Gavin Nicholas. Gavin
What is
Nicholas.
his contribution? You ever had an election to say, well, okay, somebody is challenging him for the leadership of that particular party. What does he bring to the UNC? Huh? Tell us what he brings to.
Now, you see the reason why we have to challenge what is taking place. Now, there are some new ministers in which they bring. We could say the same thing. And that is what we have been saying here on this platform for so long. What are these PNM, what PNM is actually bringing to the people of Trinidad and Tobago? What they're bringing to the table? Crime, over 600 this year. Out of control. People food can't get cut. No development. No stimulation within the economy. None whatsoever. Companies closing down. Job shortage taking place. Just so you could end up on your work and tomorrow you know you have to go home. The company don't himself have enough money. Don't himself have money to pay no severance. These are the things people are facing in Trinidad and Tobago. And you are seeing that they're still trying to make every effort. The present administration trying to make every effort to stay in power. They're raising the salary.
To the UNC. But you know, just the other day, when Gary Griffith was there for the local elections, Gary was telling us why it is he have bars under the eye was because Kamla Prasad Bissetta used to wake him up in the morning 4 o'clock to discuss business. Look up today singing a different tune, man. But he still had the bar under the eye. Explain that to me, Dominic. All of a sudden, just a few, as I say, a few moments later, you're talking a different story. You bring nothing to the party according to Kamla Prasad Bissetta. You, NTA, bring nothing to the party. You bring nothing. But your partner, PEP, bringing something to the party apparently. And Kirksonet, the boxer, bringing something to the party. And the next one, Gavin, whatever his name is, bringing something to the party.
Gavin Nicholas.
Nicholas, yes, that's the fella. That is the fella. What do you bring to the party, Dominic Romain? Tell me. I want you to tell me. What is this they bringing to the UNC? That you have to go and shake hands and hold hands. And them 5 black African union members, union leaders. What they bringing to the party, Dominic? They're going to get a seat. They're going to contest the election, Dominic. What are they bringing to the party, the UNC? You know what they're bringing, Dominic? I'll tell you what they're bringing, you know. They're bringing African votes. That is all Kamla Prasad Bissetta cares about. African votes. And they've all of a sudden forgotten what happened between 2010 and 2015 after the fight about a Fort Dominic. They all forgot. But I didn't forget, Dominic. I doubt you forgot. I doubt your listeners have forgotten what happened with the fight about a Fort Dominic remain. I doubt you forgot. I challenge you that you didn't forget. But there it is, they stand up there like some bopies to shake hands and say that they supported the UNC. But you know who was missing, Dominic? Two people was missing, but they're there. David Abdullah and Fali Agosti. They was in the picture, but
Now, if I was there, I would have asked myself, or asked the host and the guests, a matter of fact, what is their reasoning behind what they are saying? If by your statement, Roger and them are there to attract black voters, what is your reason for saying that because Roger is a union leader and he don't represent black people, he represent workers' rights? That is what he represents. He just happened to be black. So what is your reasoning for putting out that on a platform to attract black voters? Does Roger own a black union? Is OWTU full of only black people? My God, the type of misrepresentation of facts to benefit a party must have a limitation. Things like this ought not to be spewed on the airways in Trinidad and Tobago and far more social media. If you talk about David Mohammed or somebody that talk and say he represent the black agenda, every single thing when it comes to a black man, when he talk out on things against the own party that said that we represent the interests of black people, you find race in this? You find race in a statement like this? Roger represent workers of all ethnic class. What really going on with the people? What?
But there, them supporting the UNC as well. And this is why I want to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago, always be careful who all you vote for. You're looking to destroy the good relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and
Why to be careful?
Maduro. You're looking to destroy that. Because if they destroy...
Why to be careful with who we vote for? And we ought to be fearful of who representing our interests right about now. Because it's clear that there are illustrations that I could bring up here now to show you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, that the administration that we place there with our vote is just about 300 and some thousand people that vote in PNM. That they are not doing anything that is within the interest of the people. Electricity going up, water rate going up, the cost of living high, and we are getting 4%. How that could be representing our interests? We have to reach that point here in Trinidad and Tobago that we must say enough is enough. These things ought not to go on within a society that is democratic. It's as if the people are held under siege. And we are seeing people that are trying to reach the masses and trying to inject fear. What is the logic behind the reasoning? It's to just, yeah, we're going on, don't vote for them because it's looking like if something sketchy. Because all Roger and the rest of those parties are talking and saying to you, the members of this Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, that the government is shortchanging you and we could be in a much better place.
Right, Maduro get vexed and decide enough is enough. I don't want nothing to do with Trinidad and Tobago. When you print them kind of thing in the papers, I want to have nothing to do with all you. She will then come and say, I am pleased. And you know who went to supper, Dominic? Now them set up both people stand up there like little lambs, like little puppies, for shaking hands. And she will smile and she will wink that she gives them. It will be the people who will suffer, Dominic. We the people. You understand?
Yes.
When she's smiling and winking and shaking hands and telling herself that we have to come together, we will discuss our differences and so on and so on and so on. As they did in 2010. Just waiting until she gets her hand on the treasury, Dominic Romain, and destroy this country, and then dump them set of fools who stood up there like some boopies. Then we will understand and say, oh God, we made a mistake once, you come and make it again, boy. Oh God, like we didn't learn in 2010, boy. We didn't learn. This liar, this lying woman, come and gonna put up she friends on them and fix she friends on them and family. And them bunch of stupid Africans stand up there like some boobies. Because their understanding is just your followers that you want to vote for she. When we will get it right, Dominic. Mr. Rubin, please tell me when we're going to get it right and understand what time it is. That this liar of a woman will continue to do the same thing she did in 2010. Come back with the same ideas, the same policies, and the same thieving.
Now, a life like that has no substance. Because if we had to apply deductive reasoning to what would have been said there, we could face a fallacy in which we call argumentum ad lapidem, which is appeal to the stone. A gentleman mount a platform, a public platform, a matter of fact, and made certain claims, and I'm not to back it up. If you don't understand, it's just statements. When it is the scrap iron, president would have stand up. The only person that would have stand up with them was the UNC. And various people throughout Trinidad and Tobago, the case with Jaden Lalchan. The PNM went on record and said, let me not make this thing politicize this issue. And it was swept underneath the carpet till it reached that point that they had no evidence of bullying. So they just leave it just like that. And the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago be always does get shortchanged. We could sit down here and do the maths for you, you know. But it takes a population of smart thinking individuals to say, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, something ain't right. And if you ain't see the connection that we are drawing upon, you are seeing that members of the PNM party are disconnected with society, or the closing of their eyes on certain things that are taking place to uphold a party that is not benefiting African, Indian, well, maybe the 1% alone. But the major part of the race, if we had to break down Trinidad and Tobago into dissect it, it is not benefiting us. And you are seeing a man saying, boy, them two black man, them go peep. Who you think he trying to appeal to?
You understand? Right? Hold on. Let's go. The same Tiffin that at the end of the day, you will have nothing to show for it, Dominic. When will we learn, Dominic? As Jenny and they say, it's just us, it's just we. There's a few of us. Eric has always said, how many of us? To tell the people the truth and let them understand. At the end of the day, it's just us. It's just us. But we will continue to give the message, Mr. Romain. We will continue because we don't have a choice. Because I don't want my grandchild is here with me today, my grandchildren. I don't want them to suffer, Dominic Romain. I don't want them to suffer. I want them to exist and live and understand, bear the fruits of my labor and your labor, Dominic. And the labor of their ancestors. While there are people just simply waiting to piece it and doing subversive messages and thoughts to thief and leave me hanging in the hands of the IMF. I will not allow it. I will do what I need to do. If others don't want to, then fine, that's their business. But I will not allow it, Dominic. And people like leave it there and so on, like them fellas and them waste of time. I don't have to study he who want to talk about what John Benoit tells me. I don't have to talk about he. Like he business. He can talk all he wants. Like he business. He's a waste of time. No value whatsoever. So I don't have to listen to you. You maybe have to, but I don't. Have a good day, Dom.
Thank you, sir. Hello.
Now, the host was glad with that whole delivery by the gentleman. And we had was to play out this thing within its entirety, you know. For you, the members of the public, to catch on and to understand what you are up against. What you are up against. And there are people like them that will continue to spread propaganda throughout social media for you. All through social media for you to see. And not understanding the reality of the whole situation. Many of us outside there, when I say I don't want to cast no aspersion, but many of us are short-sighted. Our memory has failed us. Just the other day, I didn't wanted Christmas listen Trinidad because he was showing up another side of Trinidad and Tobago that they didn't want the world to see. They didn't want the world to see that. because they know what was the agenda and their propaganda they are going to spew on platforms like this, like that, and all through the morning from Monday to Friday on the Mugabe radio station. The reality of what is taking place within Trinidad and Tobago is explicit. People on the ground keep saying it, they're painting it for you. Understand what's taking place. People, businesses are closing down. People have to leave Trinidad and go away because of the crime situation in this country. Criminals are holding people under siege. People literally, they have nothing to eat. People literally, jobs closing down and they literally cancel mind the children. And you hearing, you seen a man cherry picking to find evidence to support a failing government. I doesn't want to call too much our words in it. You see, when people, the word for it is cherry picking, but it is based on what we call availability heuristics, information that is available to certain people. So if you know that you have a PNM friend that is tuning to certain networks 24/7, 7 days a week, they will always vote for the PNM. Because the information that they are presenting their band of followers with, because some of them so lazy, they're not even trying to fact check some of the information. They ain't gonna listen to a program like this. They ain't gonna listen to the ground report in the morning. They ain't gonna listen to the corridor transformation. They ain't gonna listen to the observer. They ain't gonna listen to things like that. Because their information base, where does get their information from, are calling these things like this propaganda.
For me, I think the young people in power, to start with.
You think that would help?
No, we need somebody who could look down to the littlest man.
Understand?
Because everybody good in power, studying the family and the self. When they say we selling weed, they say they want to kill we. But what you want we to do again?
To try to create opportunities.
So you're going to try to bridge a gap between the rich and the poor?
Well, that is so cliched. I'm not really trying to interfere with the bridge between the rich and the poor, because there's nothing wrong with the rich getting richer.
For me, I think the young people in power.
I'm not really trying to interfere with the bridge between the rich and the poor, because there's nothing wrong with the rich getting richer. But the poor must come out of poverty. I'm not really trying to interfere with the bridge between the rich and the poor, because there's nothing wrong with the rich getting richer.
For me, I think the young people in power. The young people in power. The young people in power. The young people in power.
I'm not really trying to interfere with the bridge between the rich and the poor, because there's nothing wrong with the rich getting richer.
The young people in power. The young people in power.
Corruption in point 14. I want you to know the extent of it. Well, you know, I thought a SAP alone has ship of contract. It was brought to my knowledge that the whole PNM executive, which is located behind the market, have ship of contract. It was brought to my attention that the current mayor, Mr. James, he is the chairman on the executive committee. It was also brought to me he have a secret contract also, plus other things. Yeah. So why all these iniquities happening under our MP Richard Watch? It is also alleged, brought to my attention, that the contractor that is building that completed the Fanny Village Primary School and building the fire station from Vancouver side, brought a Prada for our MP, Mr. Richard, and it is hiding at the moment by some fat man. If this is true, these people not fit the whole office.
Now, today, we are going to end this program. What we would have said here on this program is something that we have been constantly saying all the time. It's things that, if you could check the history and go back within the archive on this channel to those that are following us on Facebook and YouTube, it's things that we have been saying to you. Don't let it come now and try to bamboozle your head. The alliance between the union and the parties and them, the smaller parties and them, is an alliance for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, for you, the average citizen. Because there are many people that are following this party. The small one, the union and as well. And they are constantly finding strategies, ways and means to discredit what is going on take place here, even if it's for their own benefit. Some of these loyalists to the PNM, they lost the work in Petrotrin, some of them. And they know how wicked this government could be. And I ain't put nothing past them, you know. Just some weeks ago, it was brought to my attention that if the government could close down Petrotrin, anybody, they could do anything. If the government could close down a refinery that worth millions of dollars, millions, are wrong, you know, that worth billions. They could do anyone over here anything. So the many people that are on the live, that are joining us here live tonight, good night to you all. The Nadira, good night, good night. The original, blessings all of Trinidad and Tobago, yes, good night. Nadira, good night, Mr. Renison, and to everyone on the chat, yes, good night, Miss Nadira, good night. Thanks to the blessing, Grace Caesar, Grace. I wonder if that is the same woman that does eat doubles from in the morning, but good night, Grace. Michael Mirage, good night. Jeffrey Logan, good night. Lennox. Ramdani. Dalmi. Merlin Nesbitt, good night. Right, Trini, Bumati. Good night to all of you, Rudy. Trev. Lewis, good night, good night. Good night, all of you. Good night to everybody that are joining us here live. And thanks for tuning in and being a part of this discussion. No, we didn't take calls tonight. Again, a matter of fact, the next time we go keep the line open, a matter of fact, in which we could really take some calls and you could call in and be live on the broadcast. Again, my name is Venison Jeffrey and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live from this network. Like, share, subscribe, share it with our family, share it with our friend or yeah. Subscribe to the platform. It goes a long way. It do a lot in terms of recognition and with the algorithm on YouTube. And again, we will be here swinging this new year. But I just came on was to dispel that piece of rubbish that they're spewing on platforms, fear-mongering. And we must guard this from nonsense like that. Point 14, Labre, it's time that you stop let these people and them promise you. You need to see action, or you must call for action, a matter of fact. Call for action. And to the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night to all of you. Good night. Shivi, I know we're going on, Victor. I'll give him a call. Good night.